Captain is the supervisor on duty today as we prep to do another tiny Tex-Mex painting. I'm using my Semel art sketchbook, my Daniel Smith watercolor paints, a mechanical pencil and eraser, and my pencil art brush pen. And I'm just flipping it to the next blank page and clipping it back because this little sketchbook is super cute and I love it, but it doesn't always stay open, so I just kind of pin it back so it stays out of the way. And we're painting a Papel Picado banner, which is a traditional Mexican decorative craft that features brightly colored sheets of paper, and they're intricately hand cut with detailed lace-like patterns. And when I translated the term, it translated to say chopped paper. We're not doing that today, but we are going to try to paint it. So people use these for celebrations and festivals and stuff, and you'll see these for like Dia de los Muertos and stuff like that. And the designs on the panels often include specific symbols such as calaveras, which are skulls representing departed souls, birds as spirit messengers, and flowers representing the beauty of the natural world. And then of course there are other shapes and sometimes names or initials or words and stuff like that on there. So I started off by sketching and trying to design one, and I wanted to keep it simple and easy for even a beginner to do. And I did some flower shapes, and there are some triangles going on, and I also tried to create like a scalloped edge to it. And you know, the fun thing about this is you can design it any way you want. In real life, you have to think about how it's connected to the paper, but painting it, you don't necessarily have to go for that. Like you don't have to go for realism. You can take some creative liberties with the design. And as you can probably see, I sketched one thing and I sort of followed it, but I also went a little rogue, and it's perfectly fine to do that. I like to sketch first so I know where I'm going with the painting, but if you prefer to freestyle it, I say go for it. I will tell you in just a moment how to add white back into your painting. It's really easy and simple to do, but I'm just finishing this sketch out before we go to the next step. Now, don't be surprised, but I'm using a brush pen. And if I'm being honest, I would have gone with like a thinner, more controlled pen, like a micron pen or a fine liner type thing. But for World Watercolor Month, all of my Tex-Mex tiny paintings will have brush pen, so that's what we're doing. I did look up to verify that this ink is supposed to be permanent because I've had some issues with it smearing lately, and the info said that it is, so I will just be sure to give it plenty of time to dry. And this is a good example of something you could do to paint in the pockets of time that you have. Like you could set up your space, then come back and sketch, and then come back and add brush pen, and then come back and paint. And I know we'd all love to paint in an uninterrupted, time period, but if that's not the season of life you're in, we can just adapt and create workarounds. We are keeping things extra simple today because I'm just using one color, Daniel Smith Opera Rose. And we're going to nerd out just a bit about the paint, or think of it as like fun facts about the paint. This vibrant pink is made with the pigments PV19 and BV10, and it's wonderfully smooth, not granulating at all. Although I do love granulating paints, and because it's not granulating, it creates bright, even washes. And one thing to know about Opera Rose is it's considered fugitive, which means the color can fade over time when exposed to light. Now, Daniel Smith gives it a light fastness rating of 3. But what does that even mean? Well, a 1 means excellent, and there's no perceptible fading for 100 plus years. 2 means it's very good, no fading for 50 to 100 years. 3 is fair, fades in 20 to 50 years, and that's what Daniel Smith rates this particular pigment. 4 is poor, and 5 is very poor. And those are the ones that a lot of people call fugitive pigments because they can fade severely in less than 20 years, and in some cases, a few months of direct sunlight. So this type of pigment is good for like sketchbooks or practice work, cards, or art that's just meant to bring a little everyday joy. But if you're wanting like long-term stuff, you need to check the light fastness rating on your pigments before you use them. Anyway, I'm just trying my best to paint around the cutout shapes, but if you don't want to do that, you could go back in with a jelly roll pen, an acrylic marker, some Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. You've got several options. And if you don't want to preserve the white as I'm trying to do, you could use like masking fluid, but for an area this tiny, it might be a bit of a challenge. But that could be something that you're really into and ready for, working like super tiny like that. I'm not that patient, so when it comes to painting, I just try to be careful and paint around the shapes. Now, if you're wanting to add the pen as I did, or maybe wait until the end to do that. Either way, you can do whatever makes your heart happy. That's what painting is about for me anyways. Now, I like the lighter shade of the Opera Rose, but I wanted a bit more of a punchier color, so I added a second layer. Now, did I know if I'd like it or not? No. But I was just going to go for it because I thought the color was so pretty, and that's what I did. And for this, you could use whatever color you want. You could use multiple colors, you could do rainbows, just anything goes, you know. I hope this tiny painting made you smile today, and I hope you come back for another tiny Tex-Mex watercolor. We'll paint something else inspired by the colors and cultures we love. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!